the February 21st edition of the map discussion. We're going to start out here with a satellite image that will just frustrate my dad. This satellite image has pretty good indications of what has happened and what is currently happening with the weather across the Carolinas. First, you'll see here in the northeastern part of the state, this is snow. So that's the snowstorm that was just that hit the eastern part of the state earlier this week. The other indication is these cloud features across the ocean. This is indicative of a very cold air mass overrunning very warm waters. So you get these little bubbles of clouds here across the ocean. The other feature that's pretty interesting is this banding feature. These are actually mountain waves. It's indication of very stable air in the low levels across at least the mountains of Virginia. But this is probably could be extended across Tennessee and into the Carolinas. So that's the satellite image this morning. So how is our weather going to evolve is this. So got that cold high pressure centered over the central part of the United States. With the exception of some precipitation across the Gulf Coast, there's really nothing of note into the weekend and starting the week off pretty wet down in Florida by Monday afternoon and into Monday evening. But across the Carolinas, really nothing to speak of until we get late in the week, possibly Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon. The models are really not excited about the precip amounts, whether it's ridge-top snow across the western part of the state or rain across the rest of the state of North and South Carolina. It's just really not excited about that. And if it's not excited, I'm not really excited. So the temperatures, however, this gives us an idea of where our air masses are. So you can see that cold high that's being influencing the temperatures across the southern and southeastern part of the United States. Meanwhile, in the next 5 days, on average, warm air will start to be building in the Canadian prairies. This cold air sinks to the south, and the air mass across the southeast modifies, getting to the last few days of February and into the first few days of March. And then getting deeper into March, we got cold air trying now to replace warm air. This is the GEFS. This is its depiction of the evolution of these air masses. But if you look at another model, it might say something else. So this is a very low confidence forecast right now, just because of the different model solutions giving us slightly different stories. And I say slightly different, but it's pretty big difference, enough to where I'm not really confident about the evolution of this air mass as of right now. Just something to show you before the video ends. Well, as far as precipitation, however, here is the GFS total precipitation over the next 7 days. And notice that there's really not a lot of precipitation to talk about across the eastern part of the state and pretty much the whole state of South Carolina and getting into parts of Georgia. And this is a forecast that is echoed across multiple models. This is an interesting feature where you got almost like a precipitation shadow from the mountains of the Appalachian Mountains, but it's just a hole here, and that hole is extended in the GEFS slightly, and even into the European Ensemble Prediction System. It also has a minimum across the immediate coast of the eastern United States. Meanwhile, you got some pretty wet conditions across most of the models along the western side and along the ridge tops of the Appalachian Mountains. This is all set up by a mean trough that's centered across the just off the coast of the United States. On the back side of these troughs, you have sinking motion, so really not a whole bunch of things to speak about. Here, the center of the trough is moved slightly westward towards the inland areas of the eastern part of the United States. And then once we get further into March, we got mean zonal flow, quasi-zonal flow, which might indicate a more progressive pattern to the storm systems. They might move, instead of up the coast, they might just move west to east. But this is the setup that we have now. This is going to change, obviously, because there's a low confidence in the long-range forecast due to the different types of model outputs, but something that we'll have to watch going forward. But as far as we can tell right now, there's really not a whole lot to speak of. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.